Hi lovelies, you are welcome to my channel. My name is Akorede Adenike. If this is the first time of you coming to my channel, please like, share and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell for you to be notified each time I upload new video. If you are my returning subscribers, I really appreciate you for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much. In this tutorial today, I would like to teach you how to draft bandless A-line skirts, most especially for the beginners. Now, let's get into it. Here is the pattern paper I'm using for the tutorial today. Let's get into it fully. So this place now indicates my waistline. From my waistline, I'm checking whether the paper can be enough for the length I'm making today. It can be enough. This is exactly 40 inches. So from my waistline, I'm going to measure all my vertical measurements. From my waistline to my hip line is 8 inches, which is a standard measurement for making skirts, which is here now. From my waistline to my above the knee length is 18 inches, which is standard measurement as well. So from my waistline to the full length of my skirt is 40 inches. So this paper, the length of this paper is exactly 40 inches. So I'm repeating it here too for me to roll it out to form straight lines. From my waist to my hip is 8 inches. From my waist to the above the knee length is 18 inches and the full length of my skirt. So I'm going to roll it out now. Connect all the points to form straight lines. Now I'm done connecting the points to form straight lines. As you can see, this is my hip line, my above the knee line. So here's my waistline. Note guys, I'm drafting out my front pattern first. So on my waistline here, from the center front of my front part, I'm going to input quarter of my waist. My waist is 32 inches divided by 4 give me 8 inches, and I'm adding 1 inch for that to it. That is 9 inches, which is here. So on my hip line, I'm going to input quarter of my hip there. My hip is 40 inches divided by 2 give me 10 inches, which is here now. So on my above the knee line, I'm going to input quarter of my hip minus 1 on the line, because I want to create a little bit curve at the area. So if I deduct 1 inch from the 10 inches, which is the quarter of my hip, that'll give me 9 inches, which is here. So at the bottom of my skirt, I'm going to input quarter of my hip plus 5 inches for me to create that A-line skirt, A-line shape that I'm talking about. That'll give me 15 inches. 5 inches extra with that 10 inches, which is the quarter of my hip. That is 15 inches. Which is here now. Hope you can see what I'm marking. So I'm going to connect it now. Sorry guys, my camera went off, but I'm going to explain what I did for you. So I connected this bottom to my above the knee line with my long roller, just like this, from the hemline to the above the knee line. So I use the same roller to connect my above the knee line to my hip. Then I use the curve side of my roller to connect my waist to my hip, just like this. So I'll go ahead now and measure 1 inch from the bottom here for me to create slight curve at the bottom, because I don't want the hemline here to be sharp. Just for me to create a little curve there. I'm using the curve side of my roller to do that. Just like this. So after which I'm going to cut my front now, because this is the front. I'm using it to cut the back. So here is my front part now. I'll go ahead and create my dart on my front pattern. So from my center front on my waistline here, I'm going to measure half of my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 3.5 inches plus half inch seam allowance, that is 4 inches. So from my waistline to, I'm going to measure 4 inches downward. And to connect it, I'm going to measure that same 4 inches here too, on that point. Then I'm going to connect it straight from the waist till where I get my 4 inches. straight like this. So on my waistline, I'm going to measure 1/2 inch on both sides for me to create my dart. 1/2 inch on both sides. I'm confirming the line. So I'm measuring 1/2 inch on both sides now for me to create my dart. I'm going to connect slantly to meet the point like this. Connect it downward like this, both sides. So here is my dart now. So I'm done with my front part. I'm going to move on to the back part by placing another paper. Here's my front part now. So let me place another paper for my back part. Now here is another paper for my back part, as you can see. So I have 1 inch for my zipper allowance here. If you like, you can measure more than that. So it depends on how you want it and how much fabric you have. I'll just write zipper allowance there. So I'll just place my front on it like this and trace it out before cutting. I'm going to trace it out. I'm going to place it on this line like this and trace it out. Now I'm done tracing my back out, as you can see. So it's almost the same thing. What makes it different to each other is the zipper allowance. So I'm going to cut my back out now. Now I'm done cutting out my back, as you can see. So I'll just write back there. So I'm cutting 2 pieces of back part and 1 piece of my front part, but I'm cutting it on fold. So here's the front part of it, as you can see. So here's the back part and here's the front part. I'm cutting my front on fold. My back, I'm cutting 2 pieces of it. So while transferring on the fabric, I'm going to add all the necessary allowances to it. This is where I'm stopping for today, guys. If you find my tutorial helpful, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel to support my channel. If you have any question pertaining to cutting and sewing, you can join me on my Facebook group, Details to Sewing, created by Akorede Adenike. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Akorede Adenike. Please show some love by liking and following my page on Facebook at Akorede Adenike Sewing Tutorial. Till I see you in my next video, guys. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye bye.